think, yes, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, it is our hands around the world healing time, and we are in a few moments. I'm going to be, as I always try to do on a Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to talk us through a healing session, a guided meditation of a sort. But before we do that, we're going to have a little bit of discussion because it's, I'm told, who knows really, but I'm told it's getting better. I'm told that people are looking forward to the summer. I'm told people are looking forward to not having to deal with this virus for very much longer. I'm extremely optimistic about it all, so I think that's really, really good news. But still, when we do our healing session, we are going to do exactly what we did last week, which was to send healing to all of those around the world, whether or not they are suffering from, let's say, from influenza to cancer to all sorts of things that go on. I heard of a little girl who had meningitis the other day. She'll be in my prayers, absolutely. My daughter a few years ago had a best friend. Her best friend, her name was Nicola. Her best friend was a twin, and she was, for some reason or another, they rushed her to hospital one day. She had massive headaches, so on and so forth, and they diagnosed her as having meningitis, and she stayed in the hospital for many, many weeks actually, and finally recovered, came home, and the day after she came home, it was her 16th birthday, and she came down, she opened her gifts with her twin, and they had a wonderful morning. She wasn't feeling too well. Later on she went back up to bed. Her parents heard a thud and rushed upstairs, and she collapsed in the hallway with a massive brain bleed. Meningitis, that was a few years ago. Meningitis is curable, especially if you catch it early. Unfortunately for Nicola, there was some sort of a brain bleed, a slow brain bleed that they hadn't detected, and she actually didn't die of the meningitis. It was the brain bleed that was hidden behind all sorts of stuff that actually did finish her off. And my daughter still thinks about that young lady, and I still think about that young lady. Samantha was 16 years old at the time, and I think it was the very first time that she had encountered the loss of someone very close to her. It is so true that we don't realize, we are in ignorance of what it means to lose someone, unless it happens, and until, of course, it is inevitable, until it happens to us. We go through our lives naively as children, and often as adults, and I've heard grown men and women say, well, I never lost anyone really close to me. Well, I lost my grandmother, but she was 87 or 88 and so on, so you expect that. But I think that it's only when you have really truly experienced the loss for yourself, and a deep loss, a loss of someone who is very close to you, that you can really, really understand what grief is all about, and what loss is all about, and how it can be so debilitating and so difficult for so many people. The loss of a mother. I mean, we know, don't we? I mean, my daughter knows. She's going to outlive me, and my grandson's going to outlive me. Please God, they outlive me. Although she's lost her grandfather, my father, who she was very close to, and she had the loss of Nicola, who she was very close to, she has never actually lost. When I talk about loss, I'm talking about dying, I suppose. She's never encountered the loss of someone very, very close to her, and I know that when it's my time, let's hope it's going to be a lot of years before it's my time, but when it's my time, she will be devastated. And I know that there are so many of you out there who have had the experience of the loss of a loving parent, a loving sibling. I know that there are so many of you who know grief because you've been through it. I know that there are so many of you, far too many of you, who have undergone the loss of a child. And to me, that must be the hardest loss to bear. So when we are sending out our healing, when we're doing our healing, we are going to, and I am going to, encompass as much as I possibly can all of those people who, they may not be necessarily sick themselves, but they are grieving, they are heartsick, they are in pain. So when we send healing to people, we don't just send healing for people who have physical ailments or physical struggles. We also send healing to those people who have heartache and heart pain, and that in some ways that can be so much worse. I've experienced both intense physical pain, kidney stuff. I was laughing the other day because I was talking to a friend of mine. My back is so sensitive, and she said, well, that's because you had that rib taken out. And it's true. Do you know of anyone who's had a rib removed? I'm sure you do, some of you do, but I kind of boast that I'm missing a rib. Not really boasting, because it's really difficult, because all the bits and pieces that were taken out, including the kidney, the rib, and all the stuff that they did, and plastic tubing being put in, and I was an experimental case, which I'm glad that I was, because that's how doctors learn, and that's how people learn to help future generations. But all those bits that are missing on that one side do make my spine slightly, instead of it being, I don't know, none of us has a totally straight spine, do they? But it kind of makes it slightly crooked. So all I have to do sometimes is just to slightly lean forward, and whoops, out it goes. My back goes out, and it's so frustrating. And I know there are so many of you out there who've experienced the same thing. So many of you who have, I don't know, bad knees, bad elbows, arthritis, all sorts of things that on a daily basis can really get you down. So we're not just talking about the situation that is going on right now with the COVID issue. We're talking about so many issues. And I'd just like to say hello to Michelle, who's sitting there listening, because, hi Michelle, say hi to everybody.
Hello everyone.
We're doing the thing again. She's on my phone and I'm on my iPad. And Michelle was in an accident a couple of years ago, Michelle, 18 months ago, and smashed her hip.
About 18 months ago.
So smashed her hip, and you're experiencing sort of pain, not on a constant level, but every now and again, all of a sudden, right? You can't get up, or you.
I normally deal with some amount of pain every day.
So this is what I'm saying. There are so many people out there who suffer with pain on a daily basis, and if you're like me, I just get on with it. I don't think about it. I don't get out of bed and think to myself, oh gosh, my back hurts. Sometimes I get out of bed and I laugh at myself, because I'm like an old woman, because sometimes if my back is frozen in one place being asleep, I have to walk for a little bit until I can stretch my back and get my back in alignment again. And it's not easy, but it makes me laugh. It's painful, but it makes me laugh. And I think that humor in any situation like that is something that we should really learn to allow ourselves. We should laugh at ourselves. I laugh at myself, I talk about old people, and then all of a sudden I think, wait a minute, I'm an old person. And yesterday I was talking to, I had occasion to call to a government office to fix some paperwork, and this lovely lady said to me, so where were you born? And I said, oh, England, Great Britain. She said, no, where were you born? I said, well, I was told her where I was born, the city, and I'm British, and she kept going on and on. That is not what it says on the form. And because it was not what it was said on the form, she kept saying, look, we're in the USA. and I still didn't get it. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking, I don't know what else to call it. England, Britain, Great Britain. And she kept saying to me, we are in the USA, and I still didn't get it. Those of you who are British listening are laughing at me, aren't you? And I finally said to her, look, I'm obviously having a senior moment. And she said, until you tell me exactly what it says on this piece of paper in front of me, she said, I can't help you. So she asked me to wait for a second while she got me some information. And I quickly FaceTimed my daughter and I said, okay, I told her what had happened. You've got to be really quick. England, Britain, and she looked at me as if I was crazy. She said, the UK, the United Kingdom, mother. I was obviously having a major senior moment, and when this lovely lady came back on, I said, I've got it. It was the United Kingdom, and she says, oh great, now I can help you. It seemed so ridiculous to me that she wouldn't take England and she wouldn't take Great Britain, but I guess the rules were you have to say what's on the paper, otherwise they don't really know if it's you or not. So senior moments, but I've been having senior moments for years and years, at least since I was in my 20s, I have to be honest. You know, your brain blanks, your mind goes into space for a second and you forget what it is you're saying or doing. So when we're sending healing, we are going to be sending healing to everyone, even those like myself who space out, have senior moments, or as my old assistant used to say to everybody but me, she never dared say it to me, but she'd say to everybody, well, you know she's got Alzheimer's. It's like, okay then. Michelle, do you think I've got Alzheimer's, or do I just have a senior moment from time to time?
I just think you have senior moments. I think I have pre-senior moments, so I think we're in the same boat.
We're all in the same boat, right? So we're going to be sending healing to whoever you are, whatever situation you're in, whether it is some physical stuff that's going on, whether it's emotional, mental stuff going on, whether it's heartbreak and heartache. We are going to, as we do our guided meditations, we're going to send out that healing to whoever and whatever you are. And if you think, well, you know, I'm heart sick, or I've really, you know, got just heartache or what have you, don't think that that's any less important than someone who perhaps has a physical illness, because it isn't. Because I always say everybody's pain is their pain, and you cannot compare your pain with somebody else's, and you cannot compare their pain with yours. Everybody's pain is their pain, and everybody's pain is equally important. Michelle, I know I can see people popping up. Do we have any comments, or before we set off into our meditation, do we have any comments? Anybody want to ask a question or make a comment of any kind?
Leah said, good afternoon, Rosemary.
Hi, Leah.
Agnes said hello.
Hi, Agnes.
Or, actually, hi.
Hi.
Ruth Ann said, it's so true. It changes your life forever, when you were talking about that, passing of people.
Yeah.
Sarah's on. She says hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Caprilla's on, and she says, good afternoon, Rosemary.
Hi, sweetheart.
Agnes says, good evening. Hello from the Netherlands.
Oh, hi. It is evening there, isn't it?
And then there's one in Italian.
Maybe it's a ciao.
No, it's not a ciao.
Okay, if you want to write to us, please don't write to us in your own language unless your language is English. We don't get it, we don't understand it, and we can't help you if you don't. We keep saying this, don't we, Michelle? It's so hard to try to explain to people. English only, please. Okay, go ahead.
All right, and Randy said,
Morning,
healing
Randy.
blessings to both of you.
Sorry, what?
Randy said, healing blessings to both of you.
Thank you. I'm right back at you, Randy. Anything else?
Nope, we're ready to go.
Okay, all right. So you all know the drill by now, don't you? Sit up straight. in a chair. If you feel that you want to lie down, you can of course do that. But when I give healing to my patients, very often I'll have them sit in a chair. It's easier for my back, to be perfectly honest, not having to lean over, but in a chair or laid on a bed is fine. Feet on the ground. If you're in a chair, please, feet firmly on the ground, back nice and straight as much as you can get it. Hands, palms upwards. And I would please thank you to no comments until we're done, and then of course then we'll have time to make comments and questions, and I can see them popping up. So you need to be, as we're doing our meditation, please, if you can not make comments, not disturb anything until afterwards, where we shall have lots and lots and lots of time. So feet firmly on the ground, back nice and straight, palms upwards in a receiving position. If this is your first time doing this with me, there is a reason why we do this. We're wanting to make our body as clear and straight and pure a channel as we possibly can. And we want to, you've got to stop commenting, please, because I'm not going to tell you again. Please, just relax, go with the flow. And if this is your first time and you don't understand it, then you can go back either on this healing page, or you can go to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, and you can find the other shows that we've done, and you can find the explanations for all that we're doing and how we do it and how we use our energy. But right now, this is what I'm doing. So I'm hands, palms up. And first of all, of course, we're going to start with our healing prayer. Dear God, please allow us to be a part of your healing work. Please allow us to be part of the healing energy, that universal, that God force that drives our healing energy, and allow us to participate with you in the very best way, in the purest way that we possibly can. And of course, always we finish the prayer with, dear God, I will to thy will, we will to thy will. And I always like to end our prayer with that, because basically God knows much more and much better than I do about any of this stuff. So when I'm sending healing, I try not to ask, please God, remove the tumor, please God, make this person better, please God, do this, that and the other. Because God knows much better than I do what is best for each and every one of us. God knows best, and God decides. And so it's it's a little bit pointless for me to say, well, I want him to live, when God has already decided that it's his time, and that's not going to happen. So when we are sending out these prayers and when we're giving out healing, it's a question of faith. Having faith in God, having faith in the process, having faith in that universal God force which is out there that we can use, that we can tap into. We can use it for our own selves. We can also use it to send out healing. And the way we send out healing is by our thoughts. You might say our prayers. It's the same thing. Prayer is a collection of thoughts which go out into the universe. They reach that God force, that universal God force which is out there. So whether you prefer to think of it as a prayer, or whether it's just you talking to God, which is my way, that's okay, however you want to do this. But it's a question of, first of all, breathing in. You need to make yourself a clear and a pure channel in order for this to work. In order for you to receive healing, if you're one of those who is doing this to receive healing. And believe it or not, if you're a person who is just wanting to go out there and give healing to others, believe me, as you're giving healing to others, you are receiving tenfold whatever it is that you're giving out there. So breathing in through your solar plexus and filling your lungs, allowing that breath to fill you, holding, and then relax and allow that energy to flow through you, down your arms, down through your forearms, into your hands, down through your fingertips. Just allow that energy to flow, absorb it. If it helps you, visualize yourself wrapped in a blue blanket, or visualize the universe, the world, this world of ours, wrapped in blue. If it helps, visualize lying under a blue sky with the golden sun coming down and warming you through. Visualize yourself lying on a green lawn with the sun shining down. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Some people like to visualize the color pink surrounding them, and the color pink, the energy, that pink energy is the energy of love and the energy of giving. So if you want to combine, I always suggest to people, if you want to think of a blue blanket, thread that blanket with the colors of pink for love, green for harmony, and whatever other, gold for purity, for God, or silver for the spiritual sense of things. Just thread your blanket through with these just beautiful, beautiful colors if it helps you. Or some of you may not even want to visualize. Some of you may just want to be very quiet and to be very still. So let's do this again, breathing in through our solar plexus, and bring that breath all the way up to your lungs, and hold. Don't be tempted to let it go too soon. Allow it to fill you. Allow it to fill your whole being. Allow it to touch your heart. Allow it to touch your soul. When you're ready, just simply let go and breathe out. But as you let go, feel that energy flowing through you. Visualize that energy flowing through you, going into your lungs, down your arms, and out through your fingertips. Beautiful, beautiful energy. So let's do this again once more. We're going to breathe in through our solar plexus, and holding. And when you feel ready, just let go and allow the flow of energy, that beautiful healing energy that is coming from me, that beautiful healing energy that is out there in the universe that we can tap into very easily. Just filling yourself with that incredible wealth of love and godliness and goodness and purity, and filling yourself, and allow that energy to touch every single particle of your body, of your heart, of your mind, of your soul, of your emotions. Allow that energy to touch every single part of you, and letting go, and allowing that energy to flow through you. Let's do this one more time, shall we? So, breathing in, visualizing that gorgeous blue blanket wrapped around you. Visualize that beautiful blue healing energy wrapped around this world of ours. Visualize that energy permeating, penetrating, and literally healing this world of ours as much as we possibly can. Visualize that God force surrounding us, and letting go and allowing that energy to flow through you and out through your fingertips. I want you to visualize, and we talked about this last week, I think in America they call it cotton candy, in England we call it candy floss. I'm a bit lost as to whatever other countries call it, but when you were a child, if you were lucky enough, or as I was a teenager, I remember going to the fair for the first time as a teenager with the Sunday school, and we went to what we call the candy floss stall, or you would call the cotton candy stall, and this is it's like a massive big drum and the person who's running this has a big stick, and there's all of this cotton candy or candy floss that's going around and around and around the outside of this big drum, and this guy gathers it up on his stick until there's a nice big fat lot of candy floss for us to eat. And if you can imagine that candy floss is going around and around and around and encasing our world, encasing us. Think of the color blue. We're going to have blue candy floss because blue is the color of healing. Think about being wrapped around and around and around in this blue healing. It's so easy to visualize yourself sort of sitting in that drum and being just encased in this warm, wonderful God force, that force for healing, that universal God force which is going to flow around us and around us and around us and to protect us and to keep us safe. Let's just try one more time, shall we? With that visual in your heads, can you put yourself in that big drum? Can you trust yourself that big drum? Let's imagine God's hands in that big drum, holding us very carefully and surrounding us and wrapping us in this gorgeous candy floss blue that is going to give us healing and it's going to protect us. So breathing in again, filling yourself up. Are you going around and around as I am? Because I'm going around and around and I'm visualizing this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff floating around and around and wrapping me in this gorgeous, gorgeous healing feeling. And when you're ready, just simply let go. Allow that energy to flow down your arms, out through your fingertips, having touched every particle of your soul, every particle of your physical body, every part of your mind, helping the heartache, helping the heart, the pain, the sickness that you feel in your heart, in your mind, or in your body, helping to ease the pain. And relax. Now, you can do this on a daily basis. You can do it twice daily, you can do it 3 times a day, you can do it however many times you like. You can give healing to yourself through meditations. We do have, and I'm not sure how many are up. How many are up there, Michelle, right now? How many guided meditations do we have? So
we have one that's already been released and one that should be released next week.
So we have the first one, which you can find on iTunes,
Spotify,
Pandora, Amazon, wherever you can find those things. It is called A Journey Towards Healing, and it is so you can get that easy. I know some of you have already got it. It is a guided meditation, and I think for people who aren't used to meditating or not quite sure how to meditate, I think guided meditations are perhaps the best way to go. You don't have to have my guided meditation. It's just my little voice helping you, and although my meditations, and the first one particularly, has been used in hospitals and homes throughout the world, and even if I'm not speaking your language, you will get the healing and you will get the point, because the energy will flow forward through you, surround you, and encase you as you listen to it. The music is also beautiful. Was created by a wonderful person who helped me with these meditations, and so you can try that if you'd like, or you can simply find a guided meditation. Perhaps a person you know and trust will help you through it, but they really, really do help. But I really do, it's some people might say, I think you're being a bit I don't know, maybe expecting to heal the world is a little bit, out there. But guess what? Why not try? When I first began my work, I was taken to visit a man who, he was an old man. he'd been doing healing for many, many years, and he heard of me, and he knew someone who knew me, so he invited me to come to his home. We had to travel quite a distance, but my goodness, it was worth it. And he told me something that I shall never ever forget. He said, first of all, he showed me how he gave healing, and he gave me healing, and then we were talking about, and I had, let me point out, I had in no way at that moment any interest in healing, although I was fascinated by it, and I saw the evidence with my own eyes. I'd watched healers working and seen the results with patients, but I personally, you do understand all that talk of kidney stuff and all the rest of it, why I did not ever wish to go into a hospital or into a sick room or deal with people who were sick, because used to be honest, it used to scare me. I never felt that I was could be good enough to give healing to other people, but Garden Gregel had a different point of view, so there we have it. And I eventually set up a healing organization which lasted for 30 odd years, until I retired? No, but those who were healers with me, many of those have retired, and we allowed the organization we let go of the organization, but we still send healing to people, obviously. But this man that I went to visit, and remember, I had no intention of being a healer myself, but he knew better, and he smiled at me, and he said, Rosemary, he said, of course miracles don't happen for everyone, not big miracles, not the big miracles. Of course, somebody comes to you with a tumour, and of course you want the tumour to disappear. Of course you want the person to get well. Of course you want the miracle of seeing healing working every time in a way that people can see rather than feel. But he said, even though we know that miracles aren't for every person, he said, there's no harm in asking, is there? He said, so every time I lay my hands on a person's shoulders, or every time I give healing, he said, I'm never afraid to ask. It doesn't matter whether my wish is granted or whether my request is honoured. It doesn't matter. But he said, never be afraid, Rosemary, to ask for the miracles. So when we're sending healing around the world, and we know the state of the world, and we know all that stuff, I just feel, and I think to myself, I remember that lovely old man who, it never hurts to ask. And so therefore that's what we're asking for. Wouldn't it be wonderful if a huge miracle occurred, and this earth of ours was healed completely? But I'll take any small thing. I'll take any small little bit of healing. I personally think that miracles happen every single day. Small miracles happen every day. If you open your eyes and you look outside and the sun is shining, or if it's raining or whatever it is, you've opened your eyes. Every time I say to my daughter, every time she opens her eyes and she sees her son, it's a miracle. Every time I see both of them, or just even one of them, I feel as if I'm being given a little slice of a miracle, and that works for me. But don't be afraid, any of you, to ask for a miracle, whether for yourself or for somebody else, because, what's the deal? You can only be told yes or no, right? But never be afraid to ask. Michelle, do we have comments? Let's go for it then.
Well, there's a couple that came in right as you were telling everybody to stop with their comments, and it was from Simon. And he said for me to tell you that he is giving healing in the UK, and for me to tell you that he's there.
Oh, thank you, darling. Well, hopefully, the plan is that I come to England this year. Whether or not we'll get there is another thing. But would love to see you, Simon. So, keep going.
All right. Megan and Jose are on.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Jose.
And they say, good morning.
Good morning.
Healing to you all. Lots of love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take all of that you can give.
And then we have Juliana on.
Morning, Juliana.
And I think she may be new with us. This might be her first time because she says, "Hi, I'm Juliana."
Hi. Well, we're glad that you came, and as I said earlier, if you weren't around or you missed me saying it, you can go to our YouTube channel or just keep scrolling on our Facebook page. But you can go to the YouTube channel because Michelle, as soon as we're done, she downloads and uploads and does all that stuff, and you can find these shows and previous ones on our YouTube channel. Are they on my channel, Michelle? Rosemary Altea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you could look, I'm on YouTube. And we love it when you, what is it? You don't have to sign in or sign up. What is that? Subscribe. There you are.
Subscribe.
And we are at some point planning another competition, and only those of you who subscribe will be allowed to enter the competition. So, get ready for that. Start building up to that and subscribe. And also, I always forget to say this, and Michelle always chastises me afterwards in a lovely way, but you forgot to say share. So please, all of you, when you've watched this show, can you share it with your friends? We want it to go out there into the world, don't we? We want this healing energy and this wonderful stuff that we're doing. We want everyone to appreciate it. And even if you have friends who you think would perhaps not be interested, you don't know. So share, and just let it out there. And the people who are not interested can always delete, can't they? But share, because that's the way to spread the word about healing and about the fact that we do and we can tap into that God force that enables us to live our lives in a much better and a much calmer and a much more reassuring way. Michelle, comments or questions? Anything?
Well, we don't really have any more comments or questions, but you know what's very funny is last night I told Dustin that it was time for a new contest. And we actually have some ideas to throw at you after this.
Oh, right. Oh, so Michelle and her husband have been talking about the fact that, yes, can you remember the last one?
The last one was when we did the superstitions.
Okay. Well, we meant to do one for Christmas, I know, but that was really, really sick. And then we meant to do one,
busy.
That was way sick. Then, of course, we would certainly have done one for Easter. However, I was sick. So, the next thing that's coming up is my birthday, and who knows?
I know when that is.
Pardon?
I said, I know when that is.
You know what it is?
I know when your birthday is.
Well, it's in May.
May 19th.
May 19th, I'm a May baby, and I'm a Taurian, and boy, am I ever. Anyway, stubborn, and so on and so forth. So maybe that's a little bit too soon to have a competition. We'll figure it out. We'll think about it, and we'll let you know. But do understand that in order to be part of a competition, you do have to be a subscriber on the YouTube channel, because that's the way we do it. And we will certainly be doing it through YouTube, and we'll be doing it through our Thursday show, which is The Spirit World Sees All. But we'll let you know. And also, if you want to be on our mailing list, you need to please request it. So here is the email that you can write to: rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. And if you want to be on our mailing list and get notifications of the things that we're doing, the things that we're planning on doing, please email us and request, please put me on the mailing list, because just because you send us an email doesn't mean we will automatically put you on that mailing list. I so appreciate, I get so many emails, I'm sure everybody does, that I just delete. And sometimes it gives you the ability to unsubscribe. So you click unsubscribe, and that doesn't work either. It might work for a week or two, and then all of a sudden you're right back on the mailing list again. We will not put you on our mailing list unless you request it. If you would like to have healing, also please, again, email us, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. In your subject line, put healing. If you would like a consultation, also, put consultation in there. if you want to know more about books or anything else that we do, just if you could just put in the subject line, because it does help Michelle to put each topic and each subject into a folder, and we can answer you much more quickly, and we know exactly what it is that you like from us. If you also, we're having story time on Saturdays. I don't know how it happened, but we're having story time on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have a story that you'd like to tell us, or don't make it a great long one because we won't have time, but if you'd like to share a story that we can share with others, or you'd like to share with others, by all means feel free. And again, if you miss story time, or you think, what is story time? That will be again on YouTube, also on our Facebook page. We're doing it on our regular Facebook page. If you have trouble finding it, which a friend of mine did the other day, and if you have trouble finding it, just email us again, Rosemary at rosemaryaLtea.com, and Michelle will talk you through all the stuff you need to be able to do.
If you get our office email that we send out once a week, the proper Facebook link is on that one. I just sent those out yesterday.
Okay, so if you are on our mailing list already, our weekly email has gone out with all of the links for all of the shows. So all you'll have to do is click on the links, and that will take you right to where you need to be. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're all over the place actually. But if you want to know more, if you want to keep abreast of what we're doing and what we're up to, again, please email us. This is the final time I should give it to you. Rosemary at rosemaryaLtea.com. I can see we've got one or two questions and comments. Now, if you want me to carry on, you have to carry on with me, because as soon as the questions dry up or the comments dry up, now that's it. We shall be done. And Michelle can go back to teaching her kids, and I can go back to doing something else. I'm not quite sure what I'm... Oh, yes, yeah.
Can we keep on our Facebook or our FaceTime, because I don't want to teach them right now?
Sorry, what?
It's like, can we keep on FaceTime, because I don't want to teach them right now?
I don't know what you mean.
It's been a very long couple weeks for homeschooling.
Oh. So you'd rather stay on this than go back home to teach the kids? All right, well, if anybody wants to know what that is, that's my doorbell alarm going, because there's the lawnmower guys here. All right, questions, comments, anything else going on here, Michelle?
We don't really have much of anything else. We have a hello, Rosemary, from Tizana.
Well, hello to everybody, and is that it, Michelle?
That's all we've got.
So thank you very much. I'm kicking Michelle back to the kids. Thank you very, very much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. Again, tomorrow morning, Thursday, and every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we shall be doing our The Spirit World Sees All. It will be at least an hour long. It always drifts up beyond the hour, where you can ask questions, and we do our very best to answer any questions that you have. And also tomorrow, it's a busy day tomorrow, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be on, hopefully, with Al Pisano. He wasn't able to make it last week, but hopefully he's going to make it this week, with our Everything is Attitude show, where we will be taking a subject and picking it to pieces, putting it back together again, and figuring how to help all of you with your issues. And it's basically a program where we talk about the recipe for life, or recipes, I should say, recipes for life. That will be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Al Pisano. And then for all of you who are on my Thursday class, we shall go straight into the classroom after that. Are you excited? I'm excited. So then, of course, we keep growing this, don't we, Michelle? And then, of course, at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, Eastern Standard Time, we have a story time where I talk either about my own experiences or I talk about somebody else's experience. Some of them are spooky, some of them are just inspirational. Who knows what we're going to talk about this Saturday? I keep thinking of stories and then I keep forgetting them. Oops. We're right back to where we started with that senior moment thing. So until I have more senior moments today, please, thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to Greg, of course, as always, standing by my right side. And until I see you again, please have a very, very blessed rest of the day and all of the days to come. And we hope you'll join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. With The Spirit World Sees All. And it really does, you know. Thank you for joining us. Please enjoy your healing. Please give it to yourself and then share or send it out to as many people as you can. Thank you. Bye-bye.